We have a ruling from the Fourth Circuit basically saying that they agree with a judge in Maryland that the challenger should be able to get a stay on enforcement of this revised executive order that was to go into effect in mid-March. And a lot of the case had to do with whether it's based on religious discrimination. The challengers claimed that it was. They said all you have to do is look at all the statements that Donald Trump made during the campaign, especially when he called basically for a ban on Muslim immigration. So the legal issue here, Stephanie, was do those statements by the candidate count? The government said no. The only thing that matters is what's in the executive order itself and statements the president made about the importance of this order to national security. But the appeals court said we think the judge was right to say that it's proper to look at what drove this order, and they believe that it was religious discrimination that did. So now, as you note, the Justice Department says they think this decision is wrong and that they're going to seek review, is the way Attorney General Sessions put it, to the Supreme Court. So the government has two options here. It can simply appeal this to the Supreme Court and say, we want you to hear this case, or they can say, in the meantime, we want you, and these are excerpts from the ruling today, and they can say, in the meantime, we want you to put a stay on these lower court rulings. Let us enforce the ruling for the time being while it's under review. The problem with that, it seems to me, is that, remember, the first executive order was in January saying we need 90 days. This second one was to go into effect in March saying we need a 90-day hold. So by the time it gets to the Supreme Court, it's that 90 days is going to elapse again. That may weaken the government's claim. On the other hand, the Supreme Court tends to be deferential to presidents when they talk about national security. Doesn't always work, but sometimes it does. So I don't know what the Justice Department's next step is going to be precisely here, and I suspect they haven't decided it either. And then one other point to make. Remember, there's another case in another appeals court on another ruling by a judge, this one in Hawaii, that also put a stop to enforcement of this revised immigration order. So we've got two cases here, and I assume the administration's going to appeal both of them if they both go against them.
Pete, what can you tell us about the Fourth Circuit? In the past, when the ruling has gone against the president, he has claimed that games are being played and they're hand-picking courts that are more lenient, that are more liberal. What can you tell us about Fourth Circuit?
Well, the Fourth Circuit used to be among the more conservative courts in the country. It's not anymore. This ruling today was 10-3. The three dissenters were all appointed by Republican presidents. So I guess that's not a surprise, and it wasn't a surprise based on listening to the argument in this case, which the majority of the court seemed to be skeptical of the government's claims here. So the problem for the White House is they've got a lot of courts. The Ninth Circuit the president likes to pick on. This is the Fourth Circuit too, and I note that neither the White House statement nor the Justice Department statement makes any derogatory comment about the court.